All right, D Brown, how's it going?
Yo, how you feeling, big dog?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good, man. You know, nice. Well, not a nice Cali day, but it's raining a little bit. But you
Hey,
know,
it's better than where I'm from. So
I
it might be snowing back there. So shit, I'll take this any day.
bet. So you're out of Gary, Indiana.
Yes, sir.
So we'll take it back a little bit, get to know you a little bit better.
All right.
Can you tell us about what it was like for you growing up and everything.
Yeah, growing up in Gary, it was rough, especially like in the '90s. I was born in the '90s. I was born in 1990, and shit, I think twice in the '90s, Gary was the murder capital of the country. You know what I'm saying? So it was crazy. It was rough. It was wild. It wasn't no easy shit to grow up in.
I hear that, man. What is there different parts of Gary, Indiana that you might be from?
I'm from the west side. So I'm from the west side. Uh, Shit, it's fucked up all over. You know what I'm saying? It's a couple spots where it's decent, but for the most part, we ain't got shit in Gary. We ain't got no Walmart. You know what I'm saying? We got maybe like 1 or 2 Walgreens. It's fucked up. We got like a population, I think like 70 or 80,000 people. We ain't got a fucking Walmart. It's crazy, right?
It is. What was it like for you growing up there?
Shit, it was hard. So you just have to get it how you live. Whatever you could do to try to make some bread. You know what I'm saying? Try to stay out of the way. Try not to get killed. You know, shit, you gotta do it.
You mentioned stay out of the way, try not to get killed. That's plus you mentioned that you lived in the murder capital.
Mm-hmm.
What was going on there that made you have those feelings?
Man, in the '90s, it was crazy. It was like niggas was getting killed all the time. It was like certain people. It was this one guy, bro. I ain't gonna mention his name. He was like the boogeyman around the city. Like, bro, he used to make niggas be in the house by a certain time because he'd just be on bullshit. You know what I'm saying? He was like the Debo, but he was like a fatal Debo. Like shit, he was killing niggas. He was killing a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? But he wasn't like a serial killer. He just was like a nigga from the hood. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was a few niggas like that. You know, but shit, you know, it just was fucked up, bro. You just had to be on your P's and your Q's. And it was different because it was like before all the like camera phones and shit like that. So, you know, so you really had to be on point.
So this guy that was going around, so you said he wasn't like a serial killer or nothing. Was he like a gangster or like?
Yeah. It was a gangster, bro. And I really feel like he might have done it, like been fucked up in the head a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But shit, I think he ended up catching a case. I think he been in jail for years. He might be out or he might be getting out soon or some shit like that. I ain't really kept up on it, but he was definitely he wasn't, his name definitely put fear in people's hearts. You know what I'm saying? He was just on that type of time.
You said he made everybody come inside at an early
Yeah,
time.
like literally, bro. Like people used to try to be in the house by a certain time. Like in the street in the '90s in Gary, when the street lights came on, if you ain't got no business in the street, you need to be in the house. Cause shit, that could be your last day. You know what I'm saying? It just was fucked up like that. Niggas was down there day. And like Gary, we like super close to Chicago. So Chicago known for like a lot of killing and shit like that. But in Gary, it don't really be like a lot of innocent people get killed. Sometimes innocent people get killed. But for the most part, when a nigga wanna come get you, he gonna come get you. It ain't gonna be no drive-by shooting, a little kid gets shot. That shit happen sporadically, but not really often. Like most of the time when people get killed in Gary, it's like, yo, like nigga was on it, he wanted you and he came and got you, you know?
And so as you're growing up, this is, I assume you're seeing these things at a young age.
Definitely.
What are you going through seeing this?
Shit, well, my childhood was a little fucked up, so like, I was in the streets. I pretty much was doing whatever I wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? I didn't grow up in like no home where you had to like be in the house by a certain time or whatever. Like shit, it was like really whatever with me. Like shit, you know. So I was around a lot of shit. I experienced a lot of shit. I seen a lot of niggas get money. I done seen niggas get killed. Like I seen a lot, and that was just as a kid. You know what I'm saying? And those two things made me, one, now I want to die in the streets, and two, I want to get some money. You know, I had to try to figure out how to make it work. You know.
You said you've seen people get killed. What happened there?
Like my first time seeing a dead body, I watched one of the old guys get killed on my grandma's block. You know what I'm saying? And shit, I was a shorty. I might have been like 8 or 9 years old. Motherfucker came through the alley, got the busting, and shit, I didn't see him get shot. But after the shots fired, everybody trying to get all the kids and shit like that. Just being a nosy kid, you trying to see what the fuck going on, and you see the body in the street. You know what I'm saying? People run over to him. I know he was dead at the time, but he didn't make it. So it's fucked up.
How did that affect you?
Man, that shit. I ain't gonna lie. At the time, I don't even know how I felt at the time. Like it's like when you were young, like you don't really understand death and shit like that. Like you like 89 years old. At least for me, I don't remember like realizing. I'm just like, damn, that shit was fucked up. He was a cool dude. You know what I'm saying? He just not around no more. I don't see him on the block every day when I come through my basketball. So shit, it was a little different. And he was one of my pops friends too. So it was like one of his best friends actually.
And this was in the late 90s?
I want to say this was in the 90s, like late 90s, like around the time when Gary was fucked up. I mean, Gary's still fucked up, but it was damn near like in his prime at that time.
Yeah, violence was a lot worse, I think, all over in the 90s.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Because
it wasn't really like a lot of cameras and, people could do shit and you didn't have to worry about shit. Now it's like, yo, if you do some shit like 9 times out of 10, whatever house that you riding past to do this, somebody got a fucking camera doorbell or surveillance cameras on their house, the stores, gas stations, it's cameras everywhere. So it's like, it's really hard, which is crazy because it still be so many unsolved murders in Gary. It's just like, yo, you know what I'm saying? How can the murders be unsolved? It's like cameras everywhere, but at the same time, like shit, everybody ain't really quick to relinquish that footage because you don't want to be a part of that shit, because some shit could happen to you.
Real shit. I hear that. So as you're growing up, what are some of the struggles you're going through?
Struggles I was going through was like poverty, you know what I'm saying? I think I was going through like a mental thing too because, being a kid in school, you ain't got like the freshest clothes, freshest shoes and shit like that. That shit fuck with you mentally, you know what I'm saying? But it also motivates you to like get your shit together. So, I went through a lot of shit like that. I done slept in garages, slept in cars, you know what I'm saying? When I still stayed with my mom, cause she couldn't really figure it out. She made a lot of fucked up decisions. So, shit, I was affected by it until I like moved out. You know what I'm saying? Moved with my granddad. My granddad was a roof over my head, but he really didn't. He didn't really give a lot of opportunity. He gave me like bare minimums. You know what I'm saying? For me to, you know what I'm saying, do what I need to do as far as like school, eat lunch and shit like that or whatever. But he wasn't really buying no shoes and no clothes and shit like that. So I had to figure that shit out on my own.
And so you're growing up and you're having to sleep in cars from time to... Is this all the time or just from time to time?
Man, it wasn't like all the time. It was like, you know what I'm saying, we didn't have houses and shit. It was times when the lights then got cut off. It was times when shit, we was in a motherfucker with candles and, shit. Back in the day, like, they'd cut your lights off, but your gas would still be on. So we'd be heating up the house with the stove, you know what I'm saying? Like, we ain't got no heat. We ain't got no electricity or some shit like that. So, it wasn't always in the car, you know what I'm saying, or in the garage or whatever. But shit, even when it was in the house, it was good times and bad times. But ultimately, I will say that shit, just going through that shit at a young age, it kind of made me, it taught me how to survive in situations that a lot of people don't know how to survive in. You know what I'm saying? So by being in these situations at an early age, like right now, if the fucking world stopped, people wouldn't know what to fucking do without fucking water or heat or how to do this or how to do that or whatever case may be, or without electric. And people wouldn't even know how to fucking operate without their phones. You know what I'm saying? They'd fucking go crazy. You know what I'm saying? So all the shit I went through, you know what I'm saying, it was a learning lesson. And I feel like my struggle made my hustle. Struggling through all that shit, it motivated me to, not be in that situation again. You know what I'm saying? If I had kids, make sure my kids don't experience the shit I experienced.
I hear that. How did this affect you going to school? I mean, having to sleep in a car and still go to school the next morning?
Bro, yeah, it was fucked up. But shit, I still had to do what I had to do. Sometimes shit, school was a gateway away from the bullshit that you was dealing with at home, So it's like shit, you'd be happy to go to school to just be around regular people, and do shit like that,
Did you have any brothers and sisters?
Yeah, I got a younger brother and a younger sister. I was the oldest. So, I had to lead by example too. So like once I moved in with my granddad, my sister and brother eventually followed, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, my granddad gave bare minimum, so, I kind of like grew into like a parent role, like these, like my kids. So it's like, I got to try to figure shit out for, you know what I'm saying, not just me, but, you know what I'm saying, for them too,
And I think you'd mentioned at one point that they went to college.
Yeah. My sister and my brother both graduated with bachelor's degrees and master's degrees. They both got their masters, so shit dope. But, when they was going through what they had to go through, like, you know, being a college student ain't fucking cheap. You know what I'm saying? You could get as much student loans and, I mean, not student loans, but like scholarships and grants and shit like that or whatever. But, you know, even loans or whatever, but at the same time, like, you don't want to take as many loans, but you still be needing help, like, to get through, you know what I'm saying? Helping pay phone bills and get food, get clothes, get shit for your apartment or your dorm, all that type of shit. So it's like, yeah, I help, you know what I'm saying, whatever they needed, you know.
So as you're growing up and you're going through these things, you said, I think you also mentioned you looked up to people in the streets.
Yeah, definitely. Like, when I was a shorty, like, it was a few guys that, you know, I never knew all the bad shit that they did. I only knew, like, all the good shit they did because they was around me when I was a shorty and put money in my pockets. Always, you know what I'm saying, encouraged me to keep the basketball in my hand or music. I used to rap for, like, the older guys on the block, you know what I'm saying? Like, when I was a kid, like, I was, like, 19 years old. And, you know, they always motivated me to just, you know what I'm saying, just do something dope. And, you know, they was telling me to do one thing, but it's like, yo, I'm paying attention to them. Like, they had the nice cars, they had the jewelry. Every time I seen them, they was able to give me a few dollars, send me to the store, shit like that. And, you know, I just felt the love for them, you know what I'm saying? But as you get older, you realize they weren't perfect people, but, you know what I'm saying, you still love them for who they are. Like, finding out that somebody was like a role model to you, he didn't hurt this person, that person did this, did that. And the third is like, you like, damn, like, man, he just seemed like the coolest guy ever. But at the end of the day, he was in the street, so he had to do what he had to do, you know what I'm saying? But that still don't change my perspective of him because I met him in a different space, you know what I'm saying? I'm always respect him in that light, you know what I'm saying? So.
And what's Gary, Indiana like?
Right now, it's fucked up. It's man, we got like a lot of politicians, in my opinion, like stealing a lot of money from the city. Like the funding in the city is fucked up. A lot of abandoned houses, a lot of abandoned buildings. If you just type in Gary, Indiana on YouTube, you probably gonna see a bunch of videos of like a bunch of abandoned houses and ghost towns and shit like that. And you might see some shit about Freddie Gibbs or Michael Jackson, but shit, that's pretty much it.
You mentioned Freddie Gibbs.
Mm-hmm.
He's from there, right?
Yeah, he's from Gary. He's
Okay.
from the east side of Gary. I'm from the west side. He's from the east side, but Gary's so small. It take me maybe like 12 minutes to get to the east side. So it ain't big like Cali. Like, you know, you gotta drive 30 minutes here, 30 minutes there. Like, yo, you can get across the city in like less than 20 minutes. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, what's it like for Freddie Gibbs in Gary, Indiana?
They hate that man. They don't really fuck with him like that. Some people do. He gets some support, but just from what I see, most people don't like him. You know what I'm saying? I don't know him personally, so I never had no like or dislike for him. He could rap, you know, so I can say that. But you know, a lot of people have a issue with the image he portrayed. They say he's not really about the shit that he rap about. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, I don't know him personally, so I could never really speak on that. I know a few people that got issues with him that was involved with him personally on business and on the music side, and they had their opinions of him, but I can't never speak on that because I wasn't in the situation. So, you know, it's like three sides to every story. You know what I'm saying? You know.
It's sad when you don't get quite the love and respect from your own hometown. You know?
Yeah. I mean, that's normally how I go, but I definitely witnessed it firsthand because most people from the city, like, they don't fuck with him. And, like, he a dope-ass rapper. Like, I think he nominated for a Grammy right now. You know what I'm saying? For, like, his last album. I think it's, like, Best Hip-Hop Album or some shit of the year. But shit, they don't really fuck with him like that, you know. So he got a handful of people that fuck with him, but for the most part, a lot of people don't fuck with him. But I don't know if it be because of things he said online, like about niggas from Gary being crab in a bucket, which in my opinion, that shit ain't no lie. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the city every day. I see dope shit people doing every day, and people won't support it, but they support other shit, you know. So, or it could either be that, or it could be the fact that he ain't really putting nobody else on from the city. You know what I'm saying? I know a few people he was fucking with, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, it's three sides to every story, so I don't really know, like, you know what I'm saying, why shit didn't pan out how it panned out, you know?
Yeah, I see him. He's always making the news for dissing Jeezy.
Yeah, man. Like I say, that's a crazy situation because it's like, in my opinion, Jeezy one of my favorite rappers, you know what I'm saying? I really feel like no matter what happened, I feel like that situation did a lot for Freddie Gibbs. I feel like a lot of people wouldn't have known who he was if it wasn't from Jeezy taking him with him everywhere he go. You know what I'm saying? And you know, you know what I'm saying, he helped him out. He definitely played a role in his career. Mind you, he was buzzing before he met Jeezy. I believe he had the deal with Dre. I think he had like a aftermath deal before he even got with Jeezy. You know what I'm saying?
Freddie Gibbs did.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
didn't know that he had a deal with Dr. Dre.
Yeah, I think he had a no Interscope deal. I say aftermath. I think he had an Interscope deal. I think might have been like one of the first deals he signed.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
but I really feel like shit rocking with Jeezy, like it helped his career. Like that shit ain't paying out for him or whatever. But you know, I also noticed like the shit he do with Jeezy is like kind of like the shit that people from Gary do with him. You know what I'm saying? Like he like throw rocks a lot. You know, and most of the time Jeezy don't respond. I feel like it's the same way with him. People from the city like throw rocks and shit at him, and he don't respond all the time. So, you know, it's kind of like a revolving door. You know.
So as you're growing up and you're going through different things, at what point did you start rapping?
I always like wrote music like as a kid. I think I used it for like kind of like it was just kind of like my escape from like all the shit I was going through as a kid.
And was it hard for you to write, to do music as you're, sleeping in cars and going through all this stuff?
Nah, see, at the time when I was going through all that shit, I used to like write songs and like on paper, and I just try to keep up with them. But it's like I wouldn't record it. I didn't start recording until I was like in high school. I recorded my first few songs on my guy Hollywood. He shoot my videos now, but at the time he was a rapper, and I was rapping for these guys in his neighborhood at my cousin's house, and they heard me rapping. They're like, yo, you cold, bro. You gotta be in our group. Man, my guy got a studio to stand third. And as soon as I heard studio, it was like a light switch, like boom, studio. I'm like, yeah. So it's like, I'm like studio. I'll be in y'all group. You know what I'm saying? I was trying to get to the studio.
So you finally get into the studio, and now you're able to work.
Yeah, I'm working. I'm just dropping song after song. Like, I'm back every day. Like, you know what I'm saying? My guy, he was recording at his grandma's basement at the time. I was back every day by myself, just like cooking up.
Were you hustling at school, trying to hustle your music?
At that time, I wouldn't even really call it hustling, man. It was like just, you know what I'm saying, getting a little bit of shit just to make some money to, afford studio time and, try to get some shoes and clothes and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even have a car at the time, so, I wouldn't even really consider it hustling. But, I mean, in a form, yeah, but I wasn't really getting no real money, so, I wouldn't even count that shit. But I kept recording, and that was the summer before my senior year. And when the senior year started, I had dropped a mixtape. That's when MySpace and shit was popping. I dropped a mixtape on MySpace, and and I had like actual discs, and people was pulling up to the school, like bumping the music, like yeah. So basically, like people was like buying my music, and they was coming to school with it, and I got voted for most talented student by the end of the year. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, that's when I really just only want to do music. Like at the end of the senior year, they was going around with like the little paperwork saying where everybody was going to college and shit like that. I ain't going to college. Like I'm gonna do music. I don't know how, but this is what I'm gonna do. I don't know in what capacity, but I want to be a rapper at that point.
Okay, so you get out of high school and you start doing music more serious. And I think you mentioned that you did a song with Mo3.
Oh yeah. I did a song with Mo3. Actually, like just like probably like 2 or 3 days right before he passed. Like we did a show in Indianapolis, Indiana. The show was supposed to be back in March, but that's when the coronavirus like really like took effect, and the show got pushed back like 2 times after that. We finally made the show happen in November, and it was his last show. We recorded a song like before we went to the studio. We literally left the studio from recording and went right to the show, like just like that.
And this is his last show that he ever did?
Last show that he ever did.
Wow.
That was crazy. Last show that he ever did.
And you got to open up for him.
Yeah, got to open up for him. He was cool as hell, man. He was a cool ass nigga. When we did the record, he was telling me how dope it was. He like, yo, I'm finna drop an album. Like, yo, you need to drop the record the same day I drop the album so it can get heard. Like, it's gonna be in the mix with the streams. Like, you gonna have my ASCAP number, so it's like it's gonna be linked to me. So as a new release, so he like, yo, they're gonna be searching for the album. A lot of people gonna be typing my name in, so you gotta drop the record the same day as the album. So,
Man. Yeah, man. I was shocked when I heard the news.
I see you had interviewed Mo3 too, like a while ago.
Yeah, I interviewed him maybe a year and a half, a little longer than a year and a half ago. Was a cool dude. At that time he had a song out. One of the lines was he said that he heard he had money on his head.
Yeah, man, I heard crazy stuff all the time, man. Got money on my head and stuff, man. For what?
Those are the type of rumors you're hearing?
Yeah, I just hear this type of stuff every day, man. I hear I got money on my head. I hear I'm gonna get killed. I hear all type of shit, man. You know, I just it's normal to me though. Like I'm numb to it. I hear it so much. It's just like, you know, I had to rap about it. I had to say something about it. I hear it so much. Like it's crazy, you know.
So we kind of talked about that a little bit in the interview about people wishing death on him and the things he was going through at that time. It was kind of crazy.
It is. You know, the crazy part is a lot of people don't realize that, man, the tongue is a powerful, powerful tool, man. You got to watch how you speak. I mean, that might have been a year and a half ago, but, you know, it should be real. Like, especially, like, if you really was in the streets or you did street shit, like, just because you become famous don't mean, like, that street shit go away. You know what I'm saying? It's like shit you just don't have to always deal with. Like, once you get in the streets, you know what I'm saying? Some people ain't gonna never be able to forgive you for some of the shit you done did to them or whatever, did them to their people or whatever. So, you know, it's a fucked up situation, you know what I'm saying? That's why Boosie, I remember Boosie did an interview, he said you can't be a street nigga, you can't be a rapper at the same time. You gotta pick one. But shit, when you already been in the streets, even if you pick being a rapper, bro, the streets ain't gonna let you just be a rapper, you know? Like shit, niggas gonna feel how they feel, regardless. Sometimes it's gonna make it worse because they watching you blossom, they watching you, like, you know what I'm saying, succeed. So sometimes if you a hater at heart, that's gonna fuck you up even more, you know what I'm saying? Niggas don't like to see nobody that they don't like doing good. It's crazy, especially if they feel like you rapping about shit. You could just be rapping, just popping some shit. But if you did something to a certain person, or whether people don't take offense to certain shit, you know, they don't think you talk about them. No, I'm just kicking some shit, you know.
Man, it's rough, man. You know, I always feel like all rappers, once they start to blow, they need to get a bulletproof car.
Yeah.
Like, before you get a chain, before you do anything, man.
It's fucked up to even think like that, but shit, like, the way shit been going lately, man, you gotta move like that, man. Fuck all that foreign shit, or whatever case may be, shit, you gotta be protected these days. You just gotta move, the right way, man. It's like, ain't shit never guaranteed, but you just gotta try to, you know what I'm saying, increase your odds and move the right way.
Did you guys have plans to do any more work?
Man, we were supposed to actually shoot a video. We recorded the song, I want to say it was Friday, November 13th. Matter of fact, it was Friday the 13th. And he actually, that was in Indianapolis, Indiana. Shout out to my boy Kelvin from the Lab Indy. He had put the show together, and he set me up with the feature. Shout out to Rainwater, DJ Zach, Mo3 whole team, man. Like, it was a dope encounter. You know what I'm saying? All the way from just the studio to the show. But we did that show, and he was actually supposed to be doing a grand opening for my guy Playo. He got a nightclub in Gary, Indiana called Playos. So he was coming there to do the grand opening next week, and he like, yo, we gotta shoot the video next week. I'll be in Gary. You know what I'm saying? We could shoot it that day. You know what I'm saying? It was literally maybe 7 days from the Indianapolis show. It was the following weekend. So, but it was on a Saturday, so it was 8 days. So we did that shit Friday the 13th, and then I think Playos opening was the 21st, November 21st, and shit, he was booked for that, you know. But shit, in between that week, shit, he was, you know what I'm saying, he was killed.
Did you guys make plans to do it already and everything?
Yeah. We had plans to do it. Like, actually, the day that they got killed, I had my guy Kelvin like getting in and trying to get in contact with his manager Rain. We was gonna try to see what their schedule was like when they touched down in Gary. They was gonna have to fly to Chicago to see what their schedule was like for the day, so we could kind of book the video shoot, plan the video shoot around their schedule. We was calling all morning. We wasn't getting through, and we ended up hollering at DJ Zach, his DJ. And he talking about, oh man, they on their way back from Cali, this, that, and third, whatever. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna get back with y'all soon. You know what I'm saying? And shit, next thing I know, shit, I heard about the shooting. You know what I'm saying? My guy called me like, yo, you see what happened? You know what I'm saying? And like everybody was hitting me because they knew I had just been on Instagram, on my Instagram story. They seen us in the studio working, so everybody was hitting me like, damn, like this shit crazy, this, that, and third. Like people was hitting me like that was like my homie. Like, you know what I'm saying? I had just met him and shit or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I listened to his music, but you know, I guess by us just doing the song, we were just in the studio vibing, turnt. You know, everybody was hitting me like it was like one of my family members or something. You know, like when the news hit the internet. You know what I'm saying? He had got shot. There was a lot of speculation on if he had got shot or if he was dead or whatever. So it was like real. So I'm like, I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? At the same time, his management, everybody had cut their phones off. Like, so you couldn't really get through to nobody. So I didn't really know exactly what was what. So I just kind of had to just sit there and wait it out. And I was hoping that, niggas get shot every day. So I was hoping that he would be able to, persevere through the situation. But, unfortunately, he wasn't.
Yeah, sad situation, man.
Definitely.
Talented. He was just getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Very versatile artist. What's crazy is, like, I didn't realize how many people fuck with him until we did that show in Indianapolis because they were singing his shit word for word. Niggas and women. Like, it was crazy. They were singing his shit word for word. And then after he died, you always kind of get that buzz, that post-mortem buzz with everybody streaming your music or whatever. And I'm just like, everywhere I go, I pull up to the gas station and I hear people playing his music. You know what I'm saying? So, it's crazy. But yeah, he definitely was growing. He definitely was like the biggest artist out of the Dallas-Fort Worth area, in my opinion. He was on the rise for sure.
He was, man. He was. Sad situation. R.I.P. Mo3.
Rest in peace, 3.
Any other artists you work with?
Yeah, my last project, Full Court Pressure, it's on Apple Music, Spotify, everything else. D-Brown, 30 Boy Will, Full Court Pressure, you want to look it up. We got a joint with Project Pack that's crazy. Like, it's stupid. I just reached out to the OG. The song, my guy Jonesy made the beat. It was called Memphis. It had some 3-6 Mafia tags in it. So I'm just like, yo, like, what would be doper than to actually get somebody from 3-6 on the record? You know what I'm saying? And shit, reached out. And shit, everything was love. We made it happen.
You been on any tours?
Tours, definitely, yeah. I did my first tour in 2016. Like, I went to Texas and I went to Cali. So it was like a 4-city tour in Texas. We did El Paso, we did Houston, we did San Antonio, and
Did you open up for anybody?
Austin. Nah, it just was me and some of my guys from Chicago. They pretty much, you know what I'm saying, we just were working off our buzz, you know what I'm saying. We had pretty decent turnout shows. It wasn't like super crazy, but just able to get like between 50 and 100 people out of state. That was good, you know what I'm saying, to me. Because it's hard to get 50 or 100 people in your hometown, you know what I'm saying, let alone out of state, So we did Texas in like October, then we did Cali in December, we did Lancaster, we did Oakland, we did LA, and I think of the last, San Jose. We did San Jose. So yeah, so Cali was dope. That was like the beginning of my touring, so I seen a lot of crazy shit on tour. That was crazy. Then like the next year we did like South Dakota, Arizona, New Mexico, Milwaukee, Chicago. Like, it's all over.
What do you think was one of your crazy tour stories?
Craziest tour story, man. Man, it's a lot of them, man. But since we out here, I gotta go with the Cali story. We was in I want to say maybe Oakland. One of my guys met this chick. We was in Oakland. We was staying in LA, but the show was in like Oakland. How far is Oakland from LA?
About an 8-hour drive, maybe.
8 hours?
Yeah.
Nah, where we was at, wherever the show was at, it was like an hour and a half different from where we was staying. So this chick left the club with one of my guys. She rode back with us, whatever. We had like the Sprinter van or whatever, and like whole time she left her car at the club, but my guy that she left with, he was flying out early, like 5 a.m. So when she came back with him, we all looking like, yo, how she gonna get back? Like, we're not driving an hour and a half back. It was already like 2 in the morning when the show was over, 2 or 3 in the morning, and his flight was at like 5 or 6 or some shit like that. So his flight might have been like 7, but he had to be up and out by like 5 to go to LAX. And shit, they did what they did. They had fun all night, and then shit, in the morning he got up. She was going on his flight. So me and the rest of the guys, we at the crib, we eating breakfast or whatever. She come down the stairs like, yo, like all happy, like good morning, blah blah blah, whatever. So we all kind of like drunk. We like, yo, nobody's taking her an hour and a half back, and we had to hire the rental car back, and we had to check out of the Airbnb. So we told her like, she like, yo, where's the guy that I was here with? We like, oh, he gone. He went back to Chicago. She like flipped her shit. She was mad. She like, what? Where is he at? Who's gonna take me back home? We like, shit, we can't do it. Like, we gotta take this rent. We only got one rental car. We gotta take this back, and we gotta check out this Airbnb. We gotta clean up. We gotta check out. So she was like, livid. She didn't have no fucking money. She was like, can somebody give me money to get home? And blah blah blah. I think she said like the Uber was like $100 and something. I'm not finna pay $100 and something for the shit. I didn't smash the shit. You know what I'm saying? My guy, he was gone already. He didn't give a fuck. He knew what he was doing. He didn't give a fuck at all. So, you know, she was like walking around trying to figure out her phone had died. Everybody had iPhones and she had an Android. Nobody had a charger for her. She probably thought it was being dicks, but, you know, nobody had an Android charger for her. So she was like kind of in a fucked up space. So she asking people to use their phones and she's crying on the phone like, I'm here with these people and no one will take me home. I don't even know who these people are. I came here after the club last night. It was like crazy. Then one of my guy Red, he ended up seeing her fucking ID. She had left it on the fucking counter. She was like fucking 39. Like, who makes decisions like that at 39 years old? Like, that's like some fucking teenage shit. You know, 19, 20, 21 even. But you 39 years old. How you leaving the fucking club with a random guy? And you get stranded an hour and a half away from home. So, shit, we didn't know what to do. Like, we cleaned up the Airbnb. And, shit, when we left, we told her, like, shit, I don't know how you gonna get home, but we gotta lock up, you know. And we pulled off. It sounded heartless, but shit, she was sitting on the curb when we left. But, you know, shit, we had moves to make. It was fucked up, but and people gotta start making better decisions.
Damn.
It was fucked up. So basically, like, you know, I got a label, a brand, Same Hustle the Money. It really just started as like a cool saying, and then like in 2016, I kind of like did all the paperwork to like make it an LLC and shit like that, and like really like make it a brand. Like, I'm big on branding, so you know, I never really was big on like trying to sign artists or nothing like that, but I got a few guys with me though. My guy Red out of Milwaukee, Worldwide Red. We met on tour in Cali actually. Like, that's crazy. Like, he with me now. But we met in Cali. When I first met him, I didn't think I was gonna fuck with him because he looked corny and shit. But he definitely became like one of my best friends. He helped me with a lot of my shit, especially with the brand Same Hustle the Money. I got like 3 artists: Den Dallas, he out of East Chicago, Indiana. Young Dink, and 30 Boy Will. They all out of East Chicago, Indiana.
Oh, okay. Well, do you have any future plans?
Oh yeah, definitely, man. We working, like we out here right now. We came out here, we shot a few videos, and I'm gonna drop the song Mo3. I got a Same Hustle the Money a compilation project we finna drop too. So we recorded during quarantine. Like, we got 4 dope ass artists, like, you know, just cooking up all the time. Like, we got so much music. So yeah, we're gonna just start putting out this music. Like, we got a lot of songs, so we're gonna start putting this shit out, you know.
Well, I think that's about it. Unless there's anything you want to touch on.
Nah, for the most part, shit, make sure y'all subscribe on my YouTube. Just really, you could just Google Same Hustle the Money. Like, you know, since the whole website, most of the music videos and shit is on there. If you type in Same Hustle the Money on Google, it's gonna bring up the website. But you could go to YouTube. You can search Same Hustle the Money as well. So, you know, you'll pretty much be able to catch all the content. You know, the merch, one of the hoodies right now, sell a lot of merchandise. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's like shit. It's like a big ass machine. Well, it's a small machine now. We're trying to get a big machine behind it though. But, you know, we're doing everything independent right now out of our own pockets. You know.
Yeah. Well, real shit. That's how you make all the money.
Definitely. Yeah, we in it for the money. The fame cool, but shit, we want the money, man. I'm trying to change some lives. I ain't trying to be the only nigga around with a motherfucking foreign car. Everybody around me just, you know, ride with me. I'm trying to make sure everybody eat around me. Everybody gonna be in foreign car. The goal is to not be able to tell who's the leader. You know, everybody gonna be bossed up. You know.
I hear that.
So yeah,
that's
how
what's
we
up, man. I appreciate you, man.
Already, bro.
Taking your time. You know, good interview. You know, that was cool. You got to work with Mo3. Bro, appreciate you, man.
For sure, bro.